Bam! What's up? So, just hanging out in the garage again tonight. Figured I'll hang out and stream while I'm just sitting here. Yes, I'm just decompressing in the garage tonight. The loving missus is currently getting some tattoo work done, and I am just hanging out. Kaz, what's going on? Good to see you. I don't really have any crazy anything planned. It's just me hanging out tonight. Last night we didn't really have anything planned anyway. Stupid thing on my forehead here. Anyway, we didn't really have anything planned yesterday, and it turned into a bit of a chat about the V0 that Troy is sending my way. But I did have something cool. I put up a little time-lapse video, just something. Figured I slapped it together last night, so I just put it out there, and it's actually this, like, anybody who wants to get into Meshtastic, back on Meshtastic talk, I know, but anybody who wants to get into it, Tony G over here, like, let me, this is the case that I have for the one that I'm currently using, the kit I'm using. So there's the case for it. Tony G's got a bunch of different files, done a bunch of different things that he's put together them for the Heltec V3, which is one of the ones that my buddy Sean had mentioned. There's the V3, V3, V4, which is a upgraded version. So if I do end up picking up a couple of those Heltecs here tomorrow, probably gonna be what I do is pick up a couple of those. And I know, like I said, probably pick up a couple of them, and then I think it says in here it is designed for the V3 board, and then somewhere I saw that somebody said that there was a V3 V4 board case, so I can basically get one of those similar and then have something like this little guy here to clip on. It's got the little eye here, clip it onto a bag, and kind of have that, or design something cool or find something cool that I can use as kind of like an in the garage unit, have one on, like I said, each one of the vehicles, and kind of go from there. But now here's the Meshtastic getting started stuff and some of the different units you can kind of play around with. So flashing firmware is super easy when you get these devices. Just go to Flasher, which it's kind of funny because if you just type in flasher.meshtastic.org, all you can do is pick your target, and then here's all the different devices that it works with. This is the one I used for the WizBlock or WiseBlock, whatever you want to call it, WizBlock. This is the one I used. But then there's like the LilyGo stuff and all kinds of different ones. I mean, they've got all kinds of devices that'll work with it. Here's that little rack WizMesh tag that my buddy Sean was talking about. You just basically clip this right on. It's just a flat tag you wear, and then you can charge it, a little mag charger to connect and charge the unit up. Then you just wear this around, connect it to the Meshtastic software, and do your thing. You can add Wi-Fi to those, then connect to people. Yeah, you can do all kinds of stuff with these depending on which ones you have and what units you get. I believe some of the these Heltec units have a Wi-Fi module in them, so you can connect to it with your phone using Wi-Fi or Bluetooth, connect to your network, and then connect to it that way. And then other people are using it to basically have like a server that whenever something happens, it will connect to this and then send out something across the mesh network. Again, in larger areas where there's more of these devices, that's a good thing, because then you can set up your own private channel with your own encrypted key, and then the information sends out, and it's only on your channel. You're not hitting the public channels. set up your own little data encrypted, your own little encrypted channels with your own key, and only devices with that key would be able to connect and do that. But and then they've got the rack WizMesh repeater, so you can just set up a repeater to kind of help pick it up and throw it out farther. But these little Heltec units, they look pretty cool. I'm definitely considering picking up one of these or two of these. I still want to get another one. I left the damn thing in the house when I came out here. My mind's I'm a little scatterbrained, so I left it sitting on the table in the house. And then when I got out here and sat down, I was like, I've come too far. I'm not going back. However, I do have to say this LilyGo T-Deck is pretty nice, and I actually kind of want to get one of these because it does have the full display, full QWERTY keyboard, the BlackBerry style trackball mouse. So this would be a nice little, honestly, this would be a kind of a nice little all-in-one unit that can do everything. You can send messages directly from this. You don't have to connect to the app on your phone. So basically you get this, you set it up, and you're done. You're walking around carrying this. It's connecting to the mesh, and you're just doing everything from this directly. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice having the cell phone and having the app. It's already something you're already on. But if you're just looking for an independent device to just have and use, these LilyGo T-Decks are pretty sweet. And again, it does use the Meshtastic UI. Same thing with the Seed Sense Cap indicator. I'm still kind of learning the devices and what all they have and can do, but I do know I've been seeing a lot of people talking about the LilyGo T-Deck as a nice little kind of all-in-one unit. Set it up and go, and then just carry it around with you. And as you find mesh networks you connect, you can chat out on them and whatnot. So that's pretty cool. And then again, like I said, my buddy Sean keeps mentioning the WizMesh tag as a nice little carry-on if you have your phone. It's nothing big and bulky. It's not too bad. You just basically strap it to your backpack and let it just hang off your backpack. If you've got, the strap, you can just put it right in front, have access to the user button on it if you need it for that. So, and then here's some community supported devices. These are devices that community are working on. They don't have anything official yet, so there's that. But yeah, like I said, I just pretty much kind of hanging out here. Don't know, nothing crazy, cool, fun, and exciting going on. But I do think it'd be kind of cool to put one in that thing so that when I go to events and stuff, I could have maybe, put something small enough that'll fit next to the screen right here and have like the second little screen, or even just shift the whole screen to one side and then on the other side have, maybe one of the little Heltec units with its little display right on the front there. That could be kind of cool too, Or go crazy and get something with a larger display size to mount into there. But I think that could be something kind of cool to do down the road. Maybe just thoughts, I like I said, tonight is a real like scatterbrain. Like my head is fried. There's so much just crap going on. My brain is fried. I don't know how long I'm going to stream tonight. I may end up over on Vikings Discord or something here in a little bit. I see Viking in chat now. So what's up, brother? Good to see you. So realistically, I set a target tonight or a goal, just being silly when I started the stream. But you and Richard are in there at the moment. Yeah, I didn't even think to look at Discord before I fired the stream. I probably could have just hidden the Discord tonight and hung out with you guys. You're working on Tinker Atlas. Yeah. But realistically, I set the target as, you know, if I hit the goal that I would stream on Friday. Little cat's out of the bag. My other carbon will be here on Friday, so I'll most likely be streaming an unboxing and setup of the other carbon when it gets here. And then what I'll probably end up doing is just periodically checking Marketplace and picking up Centauri carbons and just building out my little Centauri carbon farm. My wife sent me a thing. Oh, just a picture of her being silly. Okay. But yeah, I should today, like not today, tomorrow is payday, so pay the car insurance and make some more, you know, more adult decisions, and then once those things are done, make a couple of poor financial decisions. You know, pay a bunch of bills and then buy something nice. Pay a bunch of bills and buy something nice. In this case, I'll be on Rockland. Speaking of Rockland, let's go see. Let's just go look at Rockland and look at Lily Go. I want to see what the T deck is going for. I think they've got, yeah, the T decks are $72.97. So $72 for that T deck, the all-in-one kind of BlackBerry-esque looking unit. Let's see, because I know they actually sell them with a 3D printed case as well. You can get it with a external antenna, the case, the 2000 milliamp hour battery, and the GPS. The whole thing's $110, and it is a 3D printed case. So realistically, don't need the case. Don't necessarily need the battery because I've got a 3000 milliamp hour battery sitting behind me. But the external antenna would be nice, and the GPS would be nice to, you know, be able to have it have GPS data while you're moving around and doing stuff. Da Vinci, good to see you, man. I'm just, again, it's just a kind of a hangout night, but the Haltech stuff, we're talking Meshtastic again. But the Haltech stuff, I do think that probably get the V4s. Let's just take a look here. They're currently $26.97 for the units. And you know, for the most part, what I would do, just print that little enclosure and carry the thing around. Again, I've got batteries over here, so I can just plug a battery right into it and flash the Meshtastic to it and be up and running. And yeah, just kind of run around like that, have some fun with it. You get 16 megs of external flash memory. USB to serial chip is removed CP2102. Power management, upgraded IC supporting solar input. Yeah. But probably going to hit up Rockland and buy a couple of little things, you know, not try to go over. I think I got like 100 and some bucks coming from YouTube, so I'll spend it on payday and then it'll get put right back in with my YouTube's money. So there's that. I always love that Da Vinci comes in and says, "What's up, YouTube cool peeps? Much love." Mm-hmm. So, but yeah, I mean, you guys got something you're working on, going, want to talk about, bring it up in chat. Give me something to, you know, kind of divert away from talking about something that not everybody's interested in. Yeah, Tinker Atlas has consumed you, sir. The day will come, though. The day will come and you will have some freedom. I don't know why, but I I really do like the rack wireless WizBlock stuff. I really do. It's just something about the simplicity and the snap together and low power consumption. Yeah. 4.5 months now, and it's been more of a full-time job every day, even weekends. Yeah. At some point, brother, I got to just hire you to build me a better MakerMind Nexus website. And then that'll give you a chance to kind of step away from that for a little bit and make some money and help me get a good looking website that people will want to go visit, and make it easy to import things from like my other social media stuff. So like when I post on Twitter and uh, when I go live on YouTube, it'll be a little bit more entertaining when they go there. So at some point when you feel as though you need a little bit of a break, feel free to get bored and start working on a MakerMind Nexus website, and then as I get monies, I'll throw it your way. And then when it's done, I'll hopefully have paid you so that it's not just sitting there dormant, waiting patiently. Because I'd like to make sure you get paid, brother. Still needs more work though. That's all right, man. I personally just don't have the time or patience to build websites anymore. And right now, I'm wishing that I had put more time into the streaming and building a community, um, because I would love to be able to just do this, for 4 to 6 hours or 6 to 8 hours a day, just hang out, stream, have a decent print farm going where I could be streaming while working on prints for people and have just some kind of a revenue going that way so that I could not be doing what I'm doing currently. I'm just in my current in the current place I'm in. I just would rather be doing something else right now. Things are just not what they need to be, and yeah. So I'm checking out this. They have a dual I/O board for the WizBlock stuff. I'm kind of curious as to more of like what this thing's about. I'm gonna have to do some more snooping on this one and see what all you can do with this thing. It's kind of interesting. About having money to eat, you're already 40 bucks in the hole. Yeah, brother, I understand. And I'm hoping that I'm kind of hoping that things will work out and I'll be able to kind of help float you a little bit to help with Tinker Atlas. Um, like I said, I mean, my biggest disadvantage is I have a big mouth. So I talk to a lot of people, and I hope that people, can help you, you know, hope people can help you. I always could use the help myself, but kind of want to see people help you. They can help you before they help me. It'd be greatly appreciated. grab my mouse and move it a little closer so I don't have to stretch so far. But yeah, I guess I could realistically start putting some stuff in my cart. That way it's ready to go so that when payday hits, I can just hit buy now and go, oops, I already made the poor financial decision, you know? Over another month. Your private economy is messing up. Yeah. Well, brother, I get it. My question to you is, um, you've got the three different ways of donating on the website or on Tinker Atlas. You've got your Patreon, your Buy Me a Coffee, and then you've got your um, PayPal links. When payments come into that, you just manually update the website, right? I mean, like right now, currently, you've got it set up where it's just manually updating the site. Okay. Yeah, so you're just manually updating the ticker on the site. All right. I was just curious. I was pretty sure that's what it was because I remember yesterday or the other day when I was streaming and um, you got a little bit of funds sent your way from Captain Kern that I was pretty sure that you were manually updating that as funds come in. So I just wanted to make sure of that. That was all. So I think what I'm going to do is while we're sitting here just hanging out, I'm going to go throw two of these Helltechs in my cart. Actually, I'm just going to add one of the Helltech V4s to my cart. And then I'm going to look at the rack wireless, and we'll throw another one of the starter kits in there. And what else do we want to look at? Let's just look at LilyGo real quick here and see what LilyGo has. Oh, it was the not the LilyGo. It was another one of the rack wireless ones. It was the little carry-on card. What's going on, Kit? Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. We'll add one of those to the cart. I only need one. I don't need 5. Let me take a look at my cart price and see where I'm at. Oof. Ouch. But I know I got at least that much coming in my standard shipping or standard saver shipping is free. That works. Not buying it today, guys. Creative Bear, when did you sneak in? Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Nice pie cluster. Yeah. Here. Hold on. Hold on. Let me show you something else. here's some more to add to a cluster, but someone hasn't highlight yet. Oh, what's up? What's up, Down Under? Sorry, man. Here's an orange pie, 3B. Here's a raspberry pie, 3B. Here's the Libre Computer Alta board. Here's the Libre La Ferrite. Here's a Libre Tritium, I believe. This one is the this one's the Tritium board. And then this one is the Potato. And then here is the Renegade, all from Libre. So I've got 3, 4, 5 Libre boards right here. Actually, in my laptop bag at work, I have a sweet potato in there. And then in the Rook 2020 up there, I have a Solitude board, and in the this guy down here in my switch wire, I have another Alta board. So I thought the two on the bedstand was a lot. Yeah, I have a lot of little SBCs that I need to kind of start building projects for and making use of them. One of the things I thought about doing, or I still am thinking about doing, is kind of building some kind of a little mobile thing with one of these that I can carry around. I'm probably, and by probably I mean I'm pretty much going to, like the Orange Pi here. This one's the Orange Pi 3B 8 gig. I'm probably going to turn this in, put this in the lab racks back here, and take one of the Raspberry Pi 5s out, because I've got the, for those who weren't here yesterday, I've got a V0.2 coming from our good friend Troy, aka the Pathetic Puma. He's sending it over, and we're going to go ahead and do some stuff with that. Build it out, have some fun. So I'm going to throw a Raspberry Pi 5 in it, and I've got a Pico board back there. So I've got a Pico board and a Raspberry Pi 5 we'll throw in it, and he's got pretty much everything, and it's going to be converted to a belted Z instead of the lead screw. So yeah, RetroPie. Yeah, I could definitely do like a RetroPie with it. Have any idea what you could do with the 3B Plus that you used to use in your Ender Pro? Yeah, turn it into a RetroPie. I mean, that's kind of a thought I had for, like, one of the ones that's in here is kind of convert one into like a RetroPie, have one as a desktop alternative, and then have I could put like one of the Orange Pis connected to this and have it just be like a little media player, so that when I take it to events and stuff, I can just load some videos into a playlist, put it up there, and just have it loop on the front of this, so I can take, I can talk to Michael Clements and see if he's all right with me pulling the videos of him building the lab rack, so I can have that to kind of show people when they come to, events and stuff. And the Orange Pis do have like a 3.5 millimeter jack on the side, so I could hook up some speakers and kind of go from there. But hold on one second, dear. Guys, give me 1 second. Let me mute myself for just a moment. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, the daughter is going out to my mother-in-law's. She's got to finish a project for school, so she's going to go out to my mother-in-law's and work on it. You have one in the living room running RetroPie, some wireless PAL controls, or yeah. Don't use it that much though. Novelty wears off quickly. Yeah, it does wear off quickly, but it is nice to have just kind of like a dedicated unit. And if you have the spare board, or in my case, several spare boards, just setting it up and having it there so that it's ready to go. Oh, PS controllers. Yeah, sorry, Creative Bear, my bad. I know what you were trying to say, and I just kind of read. But yeah, what did Viking say? Yeah, RetroPie. Yeah. So but yeah, I would, you know, I think it'd be kind of cool to have, you know, uh, maybe I can set up on the back like an HDMI out, plug it into one of those, have RetroPie run, and have like a monitor. Bring a monitor with and a couple of Bluetooth, like, you know, PlayStation controllers or whatever with, and then people come hang out at the table, and I'd have all of that running out of this so people could see that you can run all kinds of stuff out of there. Ideally, I'd rather have all Raspberry Pis in here, just because of the ease of the Raspberry Pi PoE hats. Um, but there are ways to get PoE into those, just using the little adapter where you plug the PoE in, and then it splits it into power into the USB port, and then Ethernet back into there. So I could get, you know, some of those and some real small jumpers, and just basically put the 2 orange Pis down on the bottom, come out right into the adapter, and from the adapter right into the front of the Pi, and work them that way. You've been playing around with RetroPie gaming for a while, haven't played many games though. Just setting it up, getting the GameSir X5 light controller for your phone. Yeah. You like the arcade box? People have printed the retro arcade game. Yeah, I mean, that's even something I could do, is like print like a little mini retro arcade and have that sitting on the table. And, you know, my thing is like the more stuff I can run out of that little box right there behind me, the you know, the more people will maybe see it as a if they weren't thinking about it before, maybe they'll think about it now, and, you know, kind of see that it's cool little thing worth it. So yeah, like I said, gang, it's just a real, like, it's just been like a real shit show, and I've been like really burnt out with some things that have been going on. Seems like every time I think things are getting a little bit better, then something happens and it shits all over the party parade. um some things that, you know, when you take a job, you're told that these kinds of things could happen, uh, and then you pray they never do, but then of course one day it happens, and then now here you are smack dab in the middle of a not so good thing. And of course, you know, it'll kind of like rip at you, eat at you, tear at you, kind of just beat you down. And I was sitting out here and I was watching YouTube I was out here for about an hour just watching YouTube and whatnot. And finally I was like, you know what? Let's just fire up a stream. We'll talk to everybody for a little bit. And I figured maybe I might stream for half an hour, who knows. But I will tell you guys that I know that, like, I've been looking at all the videos and stuff coming out of Form Next. I would really love an opportunity to go to Form Next. But I know it'll never probably pan out unless, you know, some way, somehow I end up with a buttload of money and go myself as an independent. Seeing the Prusa, the Prusa Bondtech with the index, seeing that was pretty sweet. It definitely would be cool, or will be cool, if it becomes like a, you know, pre-made kit from Prusa where you can buy Core 1, or when the time comes, the Core 1L, you know, basically right out the box, just slap it on the table, fire it up, run through the setup, and you're done, and you're multicolor printing with index. So that'll be pretty cool to see if and when that comes to be, if it's not going to be just an add-on. I'm pretty sure it's not going to be just an add-on, knowing Prusa. They will probably be offering that at some point. I know right now it's just an upgrade path, something you can buy and do. But and then seeing that you can finally buy or pre-order an index, but it's $150. Is $150 kind of a down, and then whatever the final price will be when it ships Q1. So Q1 26 when it ships, that'll be pretty awesome. You guys know my newfound love for the Centauri Carbon. I've now been fascinated with this printer for quite some time. I've only got one. The second one, again, will be here Friday. So Friday we'll do a unboxing and setup. I'm also contemplating taking a half day from work on Friday. I do have to go in for at least a little bit. So if I do, I make it a 4-hour day. I'm not going to drive 45 minutes for an hour setup and then drive home. So I'll stay for half a day and get some stuff done and caught up, and then probably come home early that day. So I'll probably be home, and then whenever it gets here, I'll be watching for UPS. I'll know, or not UPS, FedEx. It's coming FedEx. So FedEx usually comes kind of early, so it might be here when I get home. But when I finally get the update from FedEx tomorrow, letting me know what time it should be delivered on Friday, I will make sure everything is good, and we'll probably get a scheduled stream for Friday for that time. And then if you guys want to come hang out and watch me unbox and do the setup again, we'll go through the unboxing and setup, get it up and printing. And then once we know it's up and printing and doing good, then a following stream will be taking this guy down, and we'll look at getting Open Centauri installed on it. Not going to promise you that that'll all happen on Friday. We'll just say that Friday stream will probably be unboxing, setup, and print with the new one, and then we'll tuck it up there into its little hole, and then probably, you know, bring it down here, bring the other one down, and see what we got to go through to get Open Centauri installed, and then see what differences there are between Open Centauri and the standard, like the standard firmware on the Centauri. See, you know, load the same model, slice it, and then send it to both printers and see if there's any like noticeable differences. You know, kind of go from there. Hold on a second. My loving wife messaged me. Okay. Make sure you post the time it is left to help to locate. Oh, to local Porch Pirates. Yeah, I'll make sure to post the delivery time so Porch Pirates can come snag that up. But it looks like, gentlemen, since there's only a few of you, if you guys can give me a few, I do have to run my wife needs one of her meds, and I need to run it across the street. Thankfully, I live in a small town, so across the street is just right across the road. Not like across the street, like I'll be back in 20 minutes, but I'll be back in a few if you guys are okay hanging out. And then when I come back, we can talk. Otherwise, if everybody's got other stuff going on, I'll just wrap this up, and then probably Viking, when I get back, I'll probably just pop into your Discord. So I don't know what you guys want to do. You guys want to hang out? I'll just give you I'm muting the mic and pausing the camera, and you can stare at nothingness for a few, and then I'll be right back. Otherwise, do the other. You have another hour before you have to be in your stream. Yes, because Built Over Bot will be streaming. You got to go swap out some prints and feed the dog, so catch up. Was good catching up quickly. Yeah, Creative Bear, it's good to see you, man. I hope you're doing well. It is good to see you. I'm glad you popped in. Nope. Oh, you're on another stream tonight. Okay. All right. Well, I guess I'll just wrap this up then, because it seems like some people got stuff going on, and I don't want to make you guys just stare at nothingness waiting for me to come back. So, yeah. You're not streaming. You're exhausted. Been at the hospital a lot. Sorry to hear, Bob. But yeah, I'll let you guys kind of, Bob, you can get some rest. I'll go. You guys can do your thing. And yo, what's going on, man? It has been a long time no see. And well, If I come back and you're here, great, guys. If you're not, then fine. I will just make sure the camera is not moving and it's not, so it won't jump around. I'll take off the mic, and I'll be back in just a few. So just hang tight. All right, I'm back. So my loving missus is getting some tattoo work done, and she'll probably be a while. It's a pretty large piece across her back and shoulder blade. So she probably gonna be a while. So my half butt's got some time to kill. So if I hang out for a little bit and see what happens, and I'm sure others are gonna stream, but back to what I was saying. Seeing the Centauri Carbon 2, a little more in person and less in, you know, not in person, but seeing more people's in-person views of it. It seems cool. It's not what I would have liked to have seen, because it just looks like the Flash Forge Adventure 5X. But I mean, if it works, it works. So that's cool. I definitely won't mind checking one out at some point. But for the time being, I will just stick with the Centauri Carbons. Like I said last night, I do think I do need to get the drop game or something going on stream. Yeah, sorry, Bob. I do think that maybe, just maybe, we play around with the idea of, like I was talking about last night, seeing about swapping out the main board and seeing if we can get away with just swapping out the main board and getting the tool head board that's in that thing to talk to like a Big Tree Tech board. Or who knows, maybe they might have something coming, which would be pretty cool. I don't know. But it would be pretty sweet to have the ability to potentially repurpose as much of that printer as possible, and just swap it out for something that can run a little more current version of Clipper, a little bit more like feature packed, and then look at some of the multi-material alternatives. Lettuce feeder, which we need to build one. We've got it right there. Would be kind of cool if it's running full-blown Clipper to talk to Bondtech about the index, and then maybe figuring out a way to put an index unit on there. That would be kind of cool. Put an index on one. Filament changer even, yeah. You know, like I said, like an index unit would be pretty cool on a Centauri Carbon, I think. So it'll just be fun to have some of them to play around with different things, like have a couple units that are just like working machines, workhorses to do stuff, and then have one that can be kind of like a project, and then when that project's complete, maybe pick up another one and make that one a project, and when that one's complete, get another one, make that one a, you know what I mean, just like have the machine as like a base unit to kind of start with. So again, like I said, this one has been getting the upgrades. It's got the Flowtech hot end on it. It's going to have Open Centauri on it. The new one, when it gets here, we'll get that one set up and get it going, and then I'm hoping to add at least I'll have 3 across the top that'll be kind of more like the main, you know, two at least that are just, you know, set it, forget it, throw prints at it and let it work. One that'll kind of be like a fun little guinea pig for some basic stuff, like putting the Flowtech hot end in, running Open Centauri on, and then have some for some bigger projects that we can kind of put across the bottom there. Looking at it, I should be able to get at least 4 of them down here, but I could probably squeeze 5 down there. So who knows, maybe have 6 or 8 of them. I didn't say 6, 7, but have 6 or 8 of them down there, you know, in total back here to play around with. And then, you know, we'll get the switch wire. Probably going to go and kind of redo the switch wire, get it just back to a functioning printer again, because I was playing around with trying to get the firmware flash to get this thing working on it. At some point, we'll come back around to that. Maybe we'll come around to that on one of these. But it'd be nice to have my switch wire back up and running again too. And then when we get the V0 up and going, it'd be kind of fun to have that one. And then I can hopefully start working on this little rook back here. And maybe one day we'll play around with this row stock and see what it'll take to clipperize a row stock. MU, what's up? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I'm just having a sit on my ass hangout stream. I'm not doing a whole lot. We're just talking about projects and things. And I was talking about a little bit about my Meshtastic stuff. And then we were talking about printers and ideas and things that are coming, things we're going to do. Friday, I've got the second Centauri Carbon, not a Centauri Carbon 2, but a second Centauri Carbon that'll be here. So that'll be, you know, up there ready to rock and roll. You had an idea once, Bob? Yeah. I've had ideas, but my wife always tells me I'm full of bad ideas. But no, so I'll have that. And then I just keep my eyes on Marketplace. And actually, I've got a coworker at the school, her husband and son, who is a student at the school. They have a Centauri Carbon and they seem to be having issues with it. So I told them that, you know, I'm seeing them on Marketplace from between $2 and $250. So if they wanted to sell it, to let me know, and I would offer $2 to $250 for it. And then I could just buy theirs off of them and get it here. We can play around with that one. And that could be number 3 in the collection. And then I'll just keep my eyes peeled on Marketplace for, you know, printers. And if people are feeling generous and I see one on Marketplace and they want to hit up the PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, and then we can acquire another one. And then, but the goal is going to be to have just basically Centauri Carbons behind me. I like the printers. You're not going to change my opinion on when I say price to performance. Based on its price, the amount of performance you get out of the Centauri Carbon is really a good buy. I know the price is starting to go up. The last Centauri, the one coming on Friday, I paid $339 for that, but it was $339 shipped. There was no like extra tariffs and shipping and all that. It was $339 shipped to the door. So GTR Dad, good to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I plan to get a small group of Centauri Carbons back there. Who knows, depending on how things go, maybe this weekend. I know I promised the missus a date night. The new Wicked movie is coming out and she's a fan, so I'll take her to Wicked and some dinner. And maybe if all goes well that morning, depending on how things go, maybe that morning I can, if I find one on Marketplace, if my coworker, if her husband doesn't want to sell theirs, maybe I can find one on Marketplace, take a little joyride in the morning, go pick up another one, and then get one Friday, get it set up, get one Saturday, bring it home, and I don't have to stream that. I can just get it home, plug it in, turn it on, and I'll stream on Friday, and then the next stream after that, you'll see another Carbon up there, and there'll be 3. Who knows? It'd be kind of funny, wouldn't it? I end my stream on Friday with 2 Centauri Carbons up there, and then all of a sudden my next stream, which probably would be Sunday, there'd be a 3rd one up there. I know I wouldn't complain. But yeah, I will tell you guys how I justified to the staff member the idea of me buying the Centauri Carbon off of them. Is her son is a bigger fan of the Bamboo Labs A1, and he wants an A1 combo because he likes the AMS. So what I explained to him was the AMS, it's like $399, I think right now. Bamboo Labs Black Friday sale is like $399. So it's like 400 and some change. I said, if I give you 250 for, or if I gave him 250 for the printer, and he's got a Prusa Mini, I said he could sell the Prusa Mini for 150 bucks. He could sell me the Centauri Carbon for 250. That's $400. Then he's only got to pay like $4 out of pocket, and he can get another Bamboo Labs, and he can get it during, you know, the sales event that is going on Bamboo right now. So you can get that sale price, get the money, and get the new printer. So see what happens. Maybe that was enough to entice him and his father to part with their Centauri Carbon. Left in the corner extrusion system. You mean this one right here? Yeah, I'm not sure I'm gonna get around to it. I know you had commented that you were interested in seeing that thing in action. I don't know. To be honest with you, it's one of those things where it's definitely there's a bit more to that than I think I was ready for at the time. I'm not saying I'm not gonna finish it. I'm just saying it's not gonna it's not up here right now. It's kind of a we'll get to it kind of a thing. Right now there's just all kinds of other little things going on, and again, my personal life gets in the way of a lot of my thoughts and ideas, and not being someone who is financially well off, I can't afford to sometimes give myself the allotted amount of time to do something. Sometimes I have to work around like a work schedule and time with the family and everything else. I don't have, you know, I have a lot going on outside of when I stream. Usually when I'm streaming, it's because I said I need to go to the garage and decompress, and I'll come out here and fire up a camera and just stream. But sometimes, like tonight, I just need to decompress and hang out. I'm not doing anything. But people sometimes just want to hang out and talk. So giving everybody a little bit of something to do, you know. I do know that in these boxes right here is the enraged rat, or not the enraged rabbit, the happy turtle lettuce feeder. So the happy turtle lettuce feeder comes with a little bit more documentation and support, a little bit easier to kind of, my understanding is a little bit easier to set up. We'll see. And but like I said, depending on how these guys go, this unit down here might wind up on one of these, and then that unit might wind up on one of these as I get more of these. And we'll see about how to retrofit them onto these things. But we first got to see what Open Centauri gives us for firmware options. And I'm not going to just, I mean, I may need to print something in the next 2 days, so I don't want to start playing around with it, installing Open Centauri on this one and have it cause some catastrophic issue and then be completely without a printer. So we're going to wait till the other one gets here first, so I at least have a printer that's still, you know, virgin and no crazy modifications made. So far, the only modification made to that is the Micro Swiss hot end, which if anybody wants one, link is down there. And also don't forget, in my Linktree, which just jumped up in chat over here, if you click the Linktree, there's actually some affiliate links for Micro Swiss and for SliceWorks. So if you're going to look for something from Micro Swiss or SliceWorks, there you go. You've done everything but don't know how to configure on the printer. I was told I don't speak English well, so I use translator. Okay. That's why you watch the video after you finish the streams. Got it. I'm hoping, like I said, I can't tell you exactly when I'm going to get to it, and I don't want to give you false hope. I do know some other people have played around with them. Captain Kern here on YouTube, I know he was building one. I don't know if he ever got his working. I didn't catch all of the streams, so I can't remember if he got his working. But yeah, the configuring or setting it up is the hard part. And that's kind of where I'm I'm kind of at with it right now, because this guy should be flashed and ready, but it's just getting this to talk to that I've been having the problem with. I keep getting the red error screen, so I don't know really what's going on with that. I was trying to do some behind the scenes, so I wasn't going to spend 2, 3, 4, 5 hours trying to troubleshoot it on stream, but I may end up just kind of circling back around and re-going through the steps and just doing a stream like that where we just say the hell with it, let's go, and kind of go from there. I know I need to get some M3 T-nuts, because that black frame you see back here, I just slapped that together real quick to mount that too. And it's pretty much high enough I can set the filament spools on filament on like spool feeders underneath, and then have them feed up into the bottom and then out and into the tool head. So that can sit next to that guy, and they can just feed over and in. So the other crazy thing I could do is, since there's not a lot of room up here, I could probably fit 4 spools up there, mount it right to the front of this shelf, and then just run a long PTFE tube down into the tool head. But I gotta print a new tool head for that anyway. I'd like to get one with a cutter in it. Vince, good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Vince, since you're a man of a larger area, those sites that you check out, where you buy a lot of your stuff from, if you ever see any Centauri carbons in there, just let me know. I'm not saying you're fat. I'm just saying you live in an area with a larger population than me. Yeah, that part I will, like I said, we'll circle back around to it at some point. I just don't know when. But yeah, Vince, I'm looking to build out some Centauri carbons in here. Like I said, based on the price of the printer and for what you get out of it, um, I see a value there that maybe some don't. So I want more Centauri carbons. I wouldn't be opposed to having 6 or 8 of them behind me. But I've been like looking on Marketplace, and they're selling for about $200 to $250 around me. So if I can find them at, $200, obviously I want to buy them at that price. But sadly, I gotta hope they're at $200 during payday. Otherwise, I can't necessarily splurge and pick one up. I was telling the gang before you showed up, I'm hoping that there's a staff member and their son's a student at the school, but him and his dad have a Centauri carbon, and they're not having the best of luck with it. I told them I would offer them $250 for it. I told her just to let me know, and I would be more than happy to pull out $250 on my way to work tomorrow, since tomorrow's payday, and bring that home with me. She could bring it into work, and I can give her the monies and then bring it home with me. And then I could have a Centauri carbon tomorrow sitting there, and then another one will be here on Friday. And then I would go from 1 to 3. And then, once I get those 3 and I have at least, 2 units that I can just print from, and then have the one that we're currently doing simple stuff to, like hot ends, and we'll do the Open Centauri firmware on here, and then we can run kind of a side-by-side. And if Open Centauri runs well and we're having good luck with it, we can install Open Centauri on the rest of them, Havoc, brother, good to see you. You didn't miss nothing. And it's just a hangout chat stream. I had to walk away for about 10 minutes. I had to run my missus. She's across the street getting some tattoo work done, and I had to run her over some medication. She needed a medicine. So I had to run her over medicine, and then I came back and we're just been kind of hanging out. I know there's going to be another stream firing up in a little bit, but we're just hanging out and talking. I'm talking Centauri carbons. They're kind of my Achilles heel now. If anybody's got a Centauri carbon and they live in the Illinois area and want to sell it, let me know. Or trade for it. I don't have much left to trade. As you can see, my printer collection is pretty barren these days. So, but yeah, I need to, I've got the green. I need to get some more of the deep purple ASA so I can reprint a tool head for the switch wire, something with a cutter built in. Probably gonna message LDO and see if they would like to sponsor a Jabberwocky. They, throw a Jabberwocky on there, and then I'll have a cutter built in, and then I can easily do a tool changer or color, like that guy that MU's here for. We could make it a little easier to do that and have the filament cutter built into the tool head. Realistically, because the Centauri carbon has a tool cutter built in and it has the Bowden tube already feeding off the side where the switch is at, I could just pump this guy directly into that and then feed it up and around and into the Centauri, which would be cool. But BAM burner, yeah, I know you keep saying something about this BAM burner, but I'll have to look at it. I'll check it out. Maybe we'll do that. But like I said, the Centauri carbon would be nice if there was a way to, like I said, once I get Boothy builds. Yeah, Havoc, you'll have to just, message me a link to it and I'll check it out. Otherwise, I'm going to forget. Jack in the shop. What's up, Jack? Good to see you, man. How you doing? Hope you're feeling well. But I just need to get some filament. Kind of wondering if I reach out to Polymaker and see if they want to sponsor some more filament for some stuff. I'll get some more of the deep purple, and the green I'm good on right now, but get some deep purple, and then just have to get the parts to print the tool head. When you get home, all right, man, not a problem. You know how to message me. You know how to find me. Discord's always a good way. You can message me there, and then it's in the Discords forever. But no, I just got to print a new tool head. And like I said, the Centauris, once I get Open Centauri installed, we'll see what kind of features and controls we have. And I would really like to get another machine, another Centauri that we can maybe start looking into what would it take to swap out the control board for something a little more capable, because I mean, like, realistically, the Centauri carbon only needs the A, B, and Z steppers, and then the tool board, I believe they use, it's a USB-C cable, I believe, goes to the tool board on that. So just figuring out how that would connect to a different control board. And then once that part was figured out, then it would be like, if I put a 8-stepper board in there, realistically, you could just set it up for the color changer, because again, you'd have 3 steppers that would be occupied, that would leave you 4 steppers left, and like a unit like this uses 4 steppers. So since it only uses 4 steppers, that would be 7 steppers in total that would be occupied. So you could basically run everything off of one board. So like a Manta M8P, or I've got this spider board sitting down here with 8 steppers on it. We could just run a Raspberry Pi and just, be good to go. Run a Raspberry Pi under there, because there's enough room under here. Stick a Raspberry Pi in there, run full-blown Clipper, run a spider board, run your AB and your ABZ motors off of the 3-steppers, take the other 4-steppers, connect directly to this guy right here, and have these 4 bad mamma jammas all just basically run in through like an umbilical in, connect them up, and you're good to go. The problem is then everything is, you know, it is what it is. However, if there's a way to set up like a CAN connection and run 4 steppers off a separate CAN board, you could do that too, and then you wouldn't need, you know, one board with a lot of stuff. You know, it's just the thoughts, you know, intrusive thoughts. But it's just you know, stuff like that my brain starts going down the rabbit hole, and I start thinking about stuff, and I'm like, well, we could always do something like this, do something like that, and who knows, down the road maybe we do something like that, you know, or figure out a way to hook up the lettuce feeder doing the same thing, swap out the board, hook up the lettuce feeder, and then instead of running their little Happy Turtle board, could just control the motors from the main control board, and then just put a Happy Turtle on top, feed it in, and then just run the wires down the back, and you know, go from there. But it's all just, you know, it's what I've got here. We'll play around with it and see, and then once you get it up and working and functioning, then it's tweaking and tuning, and then uploading to GitHub profiles and config files, and then seeing if you can get some kind of an adoption on it with other people and get a community going and get more people involved. Thank God you've activated automatic speech translation. There you go, MU. That's good, bud. Yeah, Google should have, YouTube, I should say, should have where it does auto-translate now. They told me on my channel that auto-translate was now enabled, so it should be able to auto-translate the live for you. One of the joys of becoming a YouTube partner, you get extra features. They still take their YouTube money, though, let me tell you. YouTube likes its cut. Oh, but gang, no, I was gone for a little bit. Like I said, I'd run across the street to the missus, but I think that probably gonna wrap this up. I know somebody else was going live, I think around this time tonight. Let me go see who I think it was that said they were going to be live tonight. Top 10 harbor freight tools for for your 3D printer needs. Who was it that said they would be going live? Silver Bear is live. Silver Bear, you're live? Oh, you're playing video games right now, Silver Bear. I don't think these guys want to watch video gameplay. But yeah, Silver Bear is currently playing some Star Wars. Who was it, gang, that said that they were going live tonight? They were going to talk about Form Next and all that fun stuff. Jake says he would throw the Snapmaker U1 in the sub $1,000 slot, to be honest. I will like that, but again, I don't have any experience with the U1, so I can't speak on that. When I created my little Twitch, or my little X thing about my printers of choice for slots, was based on my experiences with the printers, not based on just general hearsay. So they were printers I spoke of because I have experience with. but it's okay. I mean, I don't think I was very clear about that when I first said it, and then I said it in comments below, but you don't normally see the comments below, you see what I said. So, because in the $1,000, sub-$1,000, I put the Creality K2 Pro combo or the K2 Plus, because I have not used, but I have been present with a K2, and the K2 platform is basically an upgraded version of the K1, but there's not much you can upgrade on a K1. It was just features added. And but yeah, I had a K1, so the K1 Max is just a bigger version of that. So I've had experience with the K1, and I've been around the K2, watching it perform. It performs very well. I put the Core 1 Plus because it's just a small upgrade to the or to the Core 1, and I have two Core 1s at work. And then of course, Core 1 XL is just a step up in size, not a difference in performance. So I would assume that the Core 1 will perform well. And then of course the XL, just because. Watch the recorded broadcast with subtitles. Yeah. Well, gang, like I said, I've been going for almost an hour and a half, and there was a small 10-minute window. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I was hoping that somebody was going to be firing up their stream, but I can't remember who it was that said they were going to be streaming tonight. And YouTube's not showing me I'm not seeing who it was that said they were going live. So any Cubic Cobra S1 Max treats me like my regular S1 that'll be your number one. Yeah, I got you, man. Like I said, for me, hands down, that is my favorite printer right now, just because that's the one I've had experience with, and I cannot argue with that dollar amount. So, I mean, it is a hell of a machine, and close fast Core XY printer, $340 shipped to the door from Fabrico right now. You can get them for sub 300, but then depending on where you're at, shipping and taxes will bring that back up. So, like I said, $339 to the door, be here Friday, can't complain. They have 8 more of them left at Fabrico. If anybody is interested, go get one. Tell them in the comments that Maker My Nexus sent you. Otherwise, if you're feeling generous, send me $339 and I'll go buy another one right now. PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, links are down there. I'll go buy another one right now before I end the stream, because I like them that much. So you send me the monies, I'll buy it. But no, I'm just being silly, guys. But I'll let you guys all kind of get back to your night and do things. I am going to wrap this up and then probably surf the webs for a while. The missus, like I said, she's getting some tattoo work done, so I don't have a whole lot of plans. The only other thing I might do is go in, take a quick power shower, and then go turn on a show and stare at the back of my eyelids till I start snoring, and then probably get woke up by the dogs around midnight with them being mischievous little mutts, and then go back to bed around 2, and then get back up around 5 and go to work. So, but yeah, gang, I do greatly appreciate you guys hanging out. It's nice to have somewhere to go and just talk once in a while, and like I said, if I don't, if I should happen to acquire another Centauri Carbon tomorrow, there'll probably be a stream tomorrow night just to get it home, get it set up, and do some stuff. And then when the other one gets here, for sure, Friday. Like I said, I'm probably going to do a half day Friday. So depending on when it's being delivered, we'll have an unboxing and setup of the Centauri I'm picking up from Fabrico, or I picked up from Fabrico. So Friday, I will hopefully tomorrow, like I said, no more. So I'll put out I'll try to schedule the stream so you guys will know Friday at whatever the time is when we'll be unboxing and setting up and going through the process for the next Centauri. And then we'll throw some test prints at it. Just take some quick test prints just to get it going. And then it'll reside up here. And then the next stream after that, we'll probably pull this guy down and get Open Centauri installed on it and see, we'll slice a file, we'll throw it at both of them, and we'll see what Open Centauri does versus stock Clipper or stock Elegoo firmware. It is Clipper, but it's the version that Elegoo shipped with the printer. It'll be the most current. It'll be the most current version of the firmware at the time from Elegoo. So yeah, some little bug. This weird little crack in my desktop, and there's this little bug that was just like crawling on it, so I smushed it. But all right, gang, I'll talk to you guys all later. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night. Stay out trouble, stay out jail. Happy 3D printing and all those things. And I'm an idiot, so you don't have to be. So you guys have a good night, and I'm gonna go surf the YouTube space. Maybe I'll check out Twitch and see if there's anybody over there. Probably pop into a Discord or something. Night, guys.